The Pixel 9 series might be the most exciting Pixel lineup that we've had so far. Back in January, we made a video on the leaked Pixel 9 and Pixel 9 Pro designs, which showed some very significant design changes. From a switch to a flat frame, to the Pixel 9 now including a triple-lens camera module, the Pixel 9's already looked like a significant change. But things are even more exciting than we thought, as apparently we're going to have 3 models of the Pixel 9 as opposed to the 2 that we thought we were going to have. Plus, a ton of other updates since January as well. Okay, so I want to start off with the 3 models leak first. Recently, OnLeaks came out with this third render of a Pixel 9, which not only appears to be smaller than the other 2 that got leaked before, but it's only got a dual camera module as opposed to the triple module like on the other 2 Pixel 9s. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is the Pixel 8a. However, according to OnLeaks, this is not the case, as in fact, it is the standard Pixel 9. But if this is the Pixel 9, then is that third model that we thought was the Pixel 9 Pro, is that a Pixel 9 Ultra? Well, I'll get to that too, but first, let's go over what this base model offers. This one's got a fairly small 6.03-inch display, which, by the way, is smaller than the standard Pixel 8, which comes with a 6.2-inch display, and also smaller than the Pixel 7a's, which comes with a 6.1-inch display. So from the looks of it, Google is aiming to make a more compact phone, which I'm totally up for. Right now, I'm using the iPhone 15 Pro Max as my main phone, and before the 15 Pro Max, I was using the smaller Pro variant of the iPhones ever since the iPhone 12 Pro, all of which had a 6.1-inch display, which meant that I could easily use them with one hand. So the fact that Google's now launching a phone with an even smaller 6.03-inch display, I think is great for people who like that one-handed usability. Now, aside from the screen size, the dimensions of this standard Pixel 9 have also been leaked, and this is where things get a bit weird. The Pixel 9 is taller, but also wider compared to the Pixel 8. But then how come it comes with a smaller display? Well, based on these renders, the bezels are pretty thin. However, renders such as these are oftentimes based on CAD models, which usually only give you the dimensions of the body and not the actual bezel sizes. As at the end of the day, those CAD models are what case manufacturers use for their cases, and all they need is the thickness, the height, and the width of the phone. They don't really care about the bezel sizes, as the bezel sizes would not impact their cases. What this means is that while the usable screen size is 6.03 inches, the actual display glass size might be a bit bigger, with some pretty thick bezels around it. Which brings us to the other 2 Pixel 9 models. According to OnLeaks, the blue one that got leaked before, the one that we thought was the standard Pixel 9, well, that's actually the Pixel 9 Pro. And the one that we thought would be the Pixel 9 Pro, that's actually a brand new model, called not the Pixel 9 Ultra, but the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And if you think about it, it does make sense. Google did use the XL naming scheme up to the Pixel 4. But now when you take a look at the whole Pixel 9 lineup, this is where things get really weird. At the very bottom, we've got a Pixel 9 with a 6.03-inch display. Then we've got a Pixel 9 Pro with a slightly bigger 6.1-inch display, and then the Pixel 9 Pro XL with a 6.5-inch display. I don't know, I just find it weird how even the largest Pixel 9, that's now called XL, will have a smaller screen size than the previous Pixel 8 Pro, which had a 6.7-inch display. But hey, I do appreciate Google making their phones more compact, so do let me know your thoughts on all of these changes. Now, there are a couple of more Pixel 9 changes that have been leaked since January, one of which is Adaptive Touch. Android Authority found some hidden code in the latest Android 14 beta release that points towards this feature. The idea here is that the screen on the Pixel 9 will be able to automatically adjust its sensitivity based on your environment. So you know how Samsung phones have this feature that you can enable called touch sensitivity that allows you to use your phone easier when you're using gloves or when you've got a screen protector on? Well, Adaptive Touch looks to be very similar, but rather than it being something that you manually enable, it would just work automatically. In fact, it's literally being detailed in the code as touch sensitivity will automatically adjust to your environment, activities, and screen protector. And I think that's great. If my screen can automatically become more sensitive when it detects that I'm wearing gloves, or less sensitive when it detects raindrops on my screen, that would be absolutely amazing. I do wonder if this is anything similar to OnePlus's Aqua Touch feature that we have on the OnePlus 12, which lets us use the display while the screen is wet. perfect for when it's seriously raining or when you're in the shower. Hopefully this is also the case here, as personally I do use my phone in the shower to listen to a podcast, and I always have to wipe it to be able to use it, as otherwise the water droplets completely mess with my touch input. Now, let's say that you do end up getting this new Pixel 9, well, then you also need an amazing wallpaper to go with it. And today, we are launching our first new pack for May, Illustrative Illusions by Splashy. Splashy created these 10 stunning wallpapers for us, and each of them has a specific theme, such as gaming, pirates, cinema, music, love, and more. And each theme is made from over 100 different icons, designed by hand. So Splashy made over 1,000 of these icons for us. All wallpapers are in 8K, so you can zoom in a lot and use them on all of your devices, from your phone to your tablet and even your desktop. And by the way, our Wallpapers iPhone 15 giveaway competition is still running on our Discord. We have now entered the voting stage, so check out the links below for both wallpapers and the competition. Okay, now I've also got some updates on the new Tensor G4 chip, which is what the entire Pixel 9 lineup will feature. I briefly talked about it in our Pixel Fold 2 video. Essentially, the Tensor G4 is once again expected to be based on Samsung's Exynos chip designs rather than Google's. Google was apparently working on their own design chip, but it got delayed, so they had to use Samsung once again. Which means that a Tensor G4 would probably not be very competitive again this year. There was actually a leaked Geekbench score of what looks to be a base Pixel 9, as it had 8GB of RAM, and the numbers were indeed quite low compared to an iPhone 15 Pro, an S24 Ultra, or even a Pixel 8 Pro. However, I do expect these numbers to go up once we approach the release, as oftentimes clock speeds are increased with more optimizations that take place during the development process. Now, I should also mention that the main focus of the Tensor G4 is said to be reducing the heat generated and then also improving the power efficiency. The Tensor G3 was already a good improvement over the G2 in this regard, with the Pixel 8 Pro not having the overheating issues that a Pixel 7 Pro had a year prior. Although it did run hotter than the S23 Ultra, for example, so some improvements are still needed here. Okay, a couple more updates. Google is planning on launching an AI assistant exclusive to the Pixel 9s, possibly called Pixie AI. Pretty good name. The idea here is that it would finally combine the brains of Gemini with the current functionality and integration of the Google Assistant. And according to the information, Pixie would be able to perform complex multi-modal tasks. This is what I'm really looking forward to when it comes to AI. A single assistant that can do everything for us. That's kind of what Humane and Rabbit are trying to do with their own AI hardware. Of course, we all know how things have gone, especially with Humane, but at least this is what their idea is. So if anyone is able to achieve this, that will definitely be companies like Google and Apple that have vast resources and also have a very tight integration in terms of the hardware and the software on their devices. Some of the features here are said to be the ability to link multiple Google apps together, such as taking a photo of a product and then immediately being redirected to the closest store in order to buy it. And the last Pixel 9 update is that we might actually get a MagSafe style of wireless charging. It's been reported that Google is planning on adopting the new Qi2 wireless charging standard, which is actually based on Apple's own MagSafe. So it uses magnets to automatically align itself with a phone, exactly the same way that MagSafe works. The only difference being that this is not a proprietary standard, so Apple isn't being paid any royalties here. And if the Pixel 9 Pro does include this, it means that it will have a MagSafe style ring of magnets on the inside, which will allow it to work with both regular MagSafe accessories as well as the new Qi2 standard accessories. So that's everything new with the Pixel 9 lineup. But what do you guys think? And feel free to continue this conversation on our brand new Discord. I'm Daniel, this means ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.